All right, everybody. So, welcome back. It is, what, 3:15 in the morning on the East Coast? Just past midnight where I am, out in Phoenix. I have this thing on stream where if we hit $300 in one go on stream, I do a live edit of the video that I'm currently working on. And you guys are awesome, and we somehow, on a random Monday night, after a Mets-Dodgers game, we somehow hit that mark. We somehow hit $300 on stream. Which I don't know how we did. You guys are awesome. So, because of that, I'll be editing a video live on the air. This is the video that's coming out tomorrow, or I guess later today. Now, you might be wondering, what the heck is this video about? This video is about an incident that took place at the 1987 NFL Draft. All good going still. How's it going, David? How's it going, Michael? Appreciate you guys being here. It's about an incident that took place at the 1987 NFL Draft involving the Buccaneers. And you'll see, obviously, some more. We got the clips in, but basically, the Bucs told the player they were drafting him, and then they ghosted him. Hugh Culverhouse told the team, or told the guy, we're going to draft you, and then they completely ghosted him. And they let a pretty good player go. I will put it that way. So, I have some of the clips in. I do need a few more. I also need to finish the script for this. When we tell the draft, yep, I'm going to Pittsburgh. I'm coming in on Wednesday. I'm leaving Phoenix on Sunday night to go back to New York. And then I'm going to Pittsburgh on Wednesday. So this is the part of the script I have. I have the beginning. I have the final 3 paragraphs. I have the first 2 paragraphs. Now I need the middle, which is just the crux of what happened and all of that stuff. The crux of what happened. That should take like 5 paragraphs, 5, 6 paragraphs, something like that. This is the newspaper article I found it in. Yeah, I like the art. You're not wrong. It's probably what it would have been if he was still in. Knowing him and his ego and all that, yep. So the video will be about something from the 87 draft involving the Lions and the Bucks. Getting the clips in of the player. And I'm going to get the clips in first. It's a start the playing. Yep, Suns play tonight. Suns do play tonight. We'll see what happens there. But we are going to edit this video as best we can and get it all out. I'm going to listen to some music while I do that. And I'm thinking, since I'm seeing him, I think we're just going to go with the romantic album since I'm seeing him on Wednesday. Oh, yeah, it works. It does work. Get myself in the mood for the concert. So, listen to Bruno while I edit. Now, I know any clips of Jerry Ball and the clips of the guy the Buccaneers drafted. So, we're going to go with that. Lord shoulder pad? I mean, this guy's shoulder pads are insane. Yeah, McGinnis, yeah. Dave McGinnis passed away earlier. His shoulder pads are insane. Got done dirty by the Bears back in the day, but Cardinals coach for a little bit in the 2000s. All right. Yep, I did. Yep, when the whole Byron Leftwich thing happened with the Jaguars. So one of the easiest ways for me to do it, I'll show you the process. One of the easiest ways for me to do it, I know I need footage of him sacking the quarterback. So I just go game log by game log. And whichever gives me the best chance of, I don't know what I clicked. Whatever game gives me the best chance of, not that. I'll go career. I've already done some of these, so now I have to do the rest. I want to get as much as I can in, because why not? So it might be on the longer side. I have a feeling the script could be a little bit like 4.5 pages potentially. So Let's go. What was it? Lions Broncos 1990. Yep, the coach whose team completed the 03 Vikings collapse. Yep. All right, so this is broken into 2 parts. Unfortunately, I have game logs. So let me control F Jerry Ball. Oh, I forced a fumble in that one. I'm not sure that would translate well. This will translate well. Loss of 14. Perfect. So I'm going to get the link. I was like 5 years old when that catch happened. Or 6? I think I was 6 years old. I was not a football fan at that point. But as I remember, too, the onside kick. It was not just that. It was the onside kick as well. Which is nuts to think about how everything happened. Like, all you had to do was recover an onside kick. And then all you had to do was stop a 4th and forever. Someone posted game 1 of the 77 World Series on YouTube. Oh, with a pregame show. Whoa. Oh, that's nice. All right, so that just downloaded. I know what I need on this is... Oh, wait. Okay, it might be in multiple parts. Wait. Hang on. That's not what I need, actually. That is not what I need. They upload into, like, a ton of different parts. So they probably get, like, removed? Okay, that is odd. I forget what happened to the rest. Maybe it's this. Okay, hang on. Let's make sure this is the right one. Part of the game just went missing. Alright. 54 seconds, okay. This should work. Back then, the team's local right hole created their records. Yes! Because that happened with Pittsburgh. That happened with Pittsburgh when the Pirates made it, and they had to decide Pirates or Steelers. What are we going to air? Alright, this should be the sack. Oh, yeah, that's a sack. Perfect. Yep. That's the clip I need. So I'm going to download this vid. Sixers were born in 77, so 83. All right. Good year for music you were born in. Good year for music. So I'm going to download the footage of that. I'm going to get the ball sack that I need. The Jerry Ball sack. Just realized, holy cow. I'm going to get the Jerry Ball sack that I need. Okay. Love Rockers producer Onesius, yep. Things I could never fly today. Especially in light of now the NBA. Obviously now the NBA being, nothing's local at this point in the NBA. And I think the first round could still be local. I think the first round could still be local. That's a good one, yep. Alright, here's the sack. Good luck, thanks. It is a good year. I like 89. 84 is really good. 86 was a fun one, too. Right, 92 is pressing for that ending. Yep. Alright, that's not a long enough clip, so we'll just go with this. There we go. So we're going to talk about Jerry Ball. And I want to crop the score out. I don't care about the score. So we're going to crop this. Move it up. There we go. That works. Move these clips around. And 82 Cardinals. Cardinals in 82. I have to move these clips around. Go back to Phoenix Scottsdale. Fun times. Direct flight. Oh, nice. Yeah. No, I love it out there. I love it out there. All right, now let's see. Other games that he had a sack in. Lions Bears 91. I don't think he had an interception in any games, right? Oh, he did. Okay, that was with Oakland. So, oh, it was against Jacksonville. Okay. Of course, he had a sec against Jacksonville. Okay, this is at Chicago. Oh, Atlanta, yep. TBS, yep. Atlanta. TBS. Ted Turner. Alright. Do they have this scheme? How much? Okay, they do. Okay. They do have this scheme. If the game was in Chicago. Download that. Not too far off in the clips. It should be about like 20 more minutes of the clips, I would think. But took the court to end that. Makes sense. I was waiting for this to download. Probably don't have a Swippy wagon. Yeah, probably. For that one, at least. TV on the local feed? Oh, wow. Alright, still waiting for it to download. Second quarter. So I'm going to skip ahead and figure out. I'll show you as best I can what I'm doing here. I'll still win a download. Then I need the Bucks player. They ended up drafting. Still waiting for it to finish down. Okay, there we go. There used to be a website where you could just get the clips, but then it got taken down. Kind of a day of dread. Oh. That sucks. Alright. Where are we at here? I want the run for no gain. Okay, we're near the end of first quarter here, so I can take out the first quarter, right? So I need nothing on that. Evie's birthday. Oh, man. I can understand why, yeah. That must be hard. Springs back memories, yeah. Haven't spoken about since. Oh, man. Sorry, man. That's, yeah, that's. I see why that would. I can see why that day would coming around would suck. Just a reminder of everything. Yep. Man. Alright. This run went for no gain, but did Ball really make the play here? Nah, you can't really tell. Yeah, I barely made the play on that one. Just start a conversation. I would imagine on that. All right. Here's Ball. I wasn't expecting to find this clip. I'm going to crop this and just get the center. That works. I was afraid what he's going to reply. You have no idea what he's going to reply? Yeah. Or if he's going to reply. Yeah. let's see what we got here. Is there a center from Spain? Got cards from LSU and Duke. Had a lot of people leaving the offseason. Yep. And they robbed Golden State high and dry. I mean, I don't get that trade at all for Golden State. The Valkyries, I don't know what that trade was. All right, here we go. Second one. Income's ball. Beautiful. Yeah, Chris said almost 30 years ago. Yeah. That was a team. They were going to lose the Seahawks and the Mariners. They were going to lose them both. It's crazy. Imagine Seattle without a pro sports team. I know I suck at human touch with people. I suck at that. For certain people, I suck with that. So I'm usually one that texts first. So if I'm not the one texting first, it's like, I almost like forget, like, oh, I haven't spoken to this person forever. Other clips. Okay, he did lose 3 on a run. So I want to see if that one came out good. If no, yeah, it should be okay. What the that's a move. Okay. They're allowed to just okay, I'm what? Did you watch something good on TV? Wait. Right, McKip, that makes sense, yeah. That guy's better towards everyone. Man. That sucks. That sucks. Okay, what the heck is... a TV movie? What the... They were allowed to air that during an NFL game? That's a real movie? I was not expecting to find this when I was doing my thing. That's real. It's real. Yeah, it seems like yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, that's a real movie. Okay, now I'm intrigued. What the? I think someone uploaded it to YouTube. And it's on YouTube, apparently. Well. Okay, yeah, apparently the movie's on YouTube. Okay, wow. Side quest, yep. I always find stuff when I'm editing videos. During Jacqueline Smith. I always find, like, is... The only reason I, like, it's this play, the next play, the player I need is going to get a tackle for a loss. That's not a great, like, play necessarily. Well, I mean, it's a good play, but it's not like... Oh, wait, this is the... Wait, is this 93? That's him. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, it's a real movie, yeah. That was a real movie. Right, that's 93. Yeah, that's him. That's definitely him. Muscat Reigns. Oh, yeah. Alright, these are the clips I need. Perfect. That was not at all what I expected to find when I was doing any of this. I'm surprised we're allowed to, like, with a word like that in the title, I'm surprised we're allowed to advertise that during NFL games. And most movies are back there on YouTube? Yep. Including Heidi. I'm not sure if we're allowed to, like, advertise, like there for Murder, She Wrote, it did. I'm surprised we're allowed to not air it, but I'm surprised if they were allowed to, like, advertise it with, like, the word not being, like, bleeped out or anything. Just moving some clips over so they're not all from the same game back to back. LAMPD blue. Yeah, I'm sure today wouldn't be controversial. Yeah, movies on YouTube. Yeah, I linked it. So the movie's on YouTube. All right, so these are all the clips I need of Ball. About 3.5 minutes worth of him standing, so I can slow that down. That's fine. So slow that down to, we'll go 30%. Yeah, that's more than fine. That'll get me there. Right back then it was, yeah. Surprised by that. I'm surprised that back then it was controversial. Okay. While I'm made up for TV movies are cracked down upon less of future films? Yeah, that's a good question. I think there's certain things where you have to, like, renew your copyright. So a lot of these movies are just one time, like, you air one time, then you forget about it. Like, they never made DVD sales from that. They never sold the DVDs for that. So that's probably why. Alright, so the player I need is Ricky Reynolds. So what I'm going to do with Reynolds... First thing I'm going to do is... He had some pick sixes. I'll do that. Yeah, I had a way of saying it. Yeah, it was so good the way he said it. Okay, 1 pick 6. So we're going to get that. I think I already have this game already downloaded, right? I think I do. Do I have this one already? I think I have this one already downloaded. Oddly enough, I might be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Yeah, because I think it's from 89. Let's see. Sometimes things work out in a weird way like that. This in 1760, right? This is the game. Yep, that's the game. Alright. So I just see clips of Ricky Reynolds. But I have all the games he got an interception in. I need like 3 minutes worth of clips. It's not going to be too bad. Especially for a cornerback, it was pretty good. I haven't scored yet in this. Yeah, so it came in the second quarter. The pick came in the second. Scrolling through. Oh, do you ever said that about the show? Oh. And not me. Some say, not me. It's like, I'm not saying this, but... Yep. Oh, that's good pick 6. Okay. That works. There's a just a shot of him standing there. Fine with me. Put a blockade so they know. To go a couple of Seahawks games at Husky Stadium? Ooh. Wait, back in 94 or 2001? When? Because I know they played some games in 94 because of the Kingdom falling apart. You know, I like them in the NFC too, yeah. They were always the ugly duckling out. How's it going, Christopher? Yep. Crazy. All good. All good, Christopher. All good. 2 streams I see Jones well. Yep. You know, you guys came in hot today, which is just insane to think about. You guys are awesome. Oh, wow. That's a great replay. Wait. God, when... The Lions and Bucks sucked back in the late 80s. Lions and Bucks sucked back in the late 80s. So they got bottom of the barrel crew. Yeah, this is the stuff right here. This is the stuff. Replay. Pick 6 just happened. I want to replay. Anybody? Nobody's even talking. Okay. Oh, that's... I didn't know that. Buccaneers moved to the Lions. That is... It's the bottom of the barrel right there. It's CBS. Alright, crop this. Who's that? I have no clue. I did not recognize that voice. That's like CBS's like F-tier announcer back then. Yeah, JB's doing play-by-play on this. Yep. JB was doing play-by-play. It is... No way! Ken Stabler? That was Ken? Yeah, one of them's in the production truck edition. That was Ken Stabler. No way. Okay. JB and Ken Stabler. Mark Ship? No, it was Ken Stabler. Okay, wait. Let me just double check. Let me. I need to hear. Is that what his voice sounds like? Yeah. That's Ken Stabler. His voice sounds identical, by the way. It's been like... This came out in 1989. His voice sounds identical. Yeah, Rip to the Snake, yep. Oh, wait, I never played the audio. Hang on, I just realized I never played the audio.
Against this wide open attack, run and shoot, your quarterback has to make
that's
the
Ken
good
Stabler.
decisions.
But JB's voice sounds identical.
A matter of him maybe being still a little rusty because he's only started one regular season game.
Played the one game.
55-yard line. Yep, that's CFL rules right there. Yep, that's CFL. Definitely not a thing in the NFL. He was not a great play-by-play guy. Never really was. But obviously, studio host, he's incredible. So I guess we just never get a replay of that pick six. Fantastic. All right, we'll make do with that. Like, I love the side tangents you can just go on when you edit a video. Like, that's why I like doing the editing myself, because it's like, I get to see stuff that I would never have seen before. All right, Bucks Niners. Yes, 2 picks this game. Okay, full game's on YouTube. So we're gonna... Push from CBS? Yep, CBS. If you wonder why I don't go for the condensed footage versus this, I like in the replays of the shots of the player just standing there on the sideline. So, like going for that. Alright, so we will go there. What about Crochet? Something was off. Obviously, he's not a guy that's going to allow that many... Like, something was off. But then why did Core leave him out there? I don't know. They makeshift type set for the halftime show between the Broncos and the Niners. Cleveland Browns someone from James Brown? Oh, wow. Yeah, Crochet, assuming he's healthy. I don't know what's up with him. He went to the Seahawks Raiders game and Seahawks Broncos. Both at Huskies game. High-flying games. High-scoring games. All right, money's worth on those. Stepdad growing up knew Kenny Stabler because his dad's friend lived down the street from him. Oh, that's awesome. He seemed like a nice guy from what I could tell. Did not age well. I will say, like, when he was on the sideline with the Saints in his late 30s, he looked like he was in his 60s. But, he seemed like a nice guy. I wonder if they thought he would Jim Brown. You know, with Fox, wouldn't shock me. Okay, wait. Is there any, like, ties? No? And nothing to do with... Yeah, that was for J... Yep, Stabler and JB. Yep. He drank a lot. There were a lot of reports about that when he was playing. Yeah, no, he never did anything with the Browns, any kind of work with the Browns. He grew up in Cleveland. Huh. He was drafted by the Hawks? Wait. Let's come see if this was a full circle. Yep. Wait. JB was drafted by the Atlanta Hawks? Did anyone else know that? I did not know that. James Brown was drafted by the Atlanta Hawks. Wow. I did not know that. At all. Like, at all. He got drafted to play in the NBA. Huh. The more you know when you do these live edits. You knew that? Oh, nice. Yeah, I did not. The more you learn, like when you do these live edits, when you like do the research, it's like, okay, yeah, I did not expect to find that. All right, this plays a pick. Yep, with Reynolds. Here we go. It's a commentary for college wrestling games on CBS. That doesn't surprise me. With color commentary, not play-by-play. Oh wow! I did not know that. They didn't take a look at. I'm surprised they didn't take a look at this play. They had replay back in '89. They didn't take a look at this play whether it was an interception. That might have hit the ground. I only didn't take a look at this play to see if that was an interception. I didn't play college wrestling. I didn't realize he got drafted. I know I have to go to the fourth quarter for this one. I just want to go yeah. Go out here. All good. Also appreciate you, man. Appreciate you as always. All right, perfect. End of 3. Now stuff happens. More Reynolds action. Apparently forced a fumble. Won't be able to tell on that. I just care about the picks. Especially the Niners were so good in '89, but they struggled so much in this game. Right, to this Bucks team. I have all the teams. This team? Fox True appeared at NBC halftime show. I think you told me that one time. Yes, you did. You did tell me that. Do like a weird thing like that. Another pick. Reynolds. Wait, that's how it happened? They just called and was like, sure, why not? I did not know that's how it came about. Alright, I'm going to crop out the part where it's a second reception. I'm going to keep the name. Yep, that works. All right. What other games do you have a pick in? Saints game 1988. Let's see if there's footage of that. That would work. Yep, that works. No way for the first few minutes. Don't care about that. Let's get a few minutes of Reynolds in this story because he does play a part in the story. So. How long until he retires? I think the next Super Bowl he's out. They seem to be grooming Burleson to be the host going forward. He's 75. I mean, JB can't he can't have much more left. He's awesome, but he's 75. By the time Super Bowl 62 is done, he'll be like 77. I think that's a good point to go out. I think he'll do one more Super Bowl. They'll send him off at the big game. They'll have Burleson be the host after 62, and they'll go from there. That's my guess. So I would say 2 more years. I hope he never retires. He's awesome. I love JB. But I'm guessing it will be Super Bowl 62 will be his last. I'm just waiting for this footage to download. Okay, I don't like the fact that I have to like download the entire game to get the clip you want, but we're almost there. Yeah, this came in the third quarter. Ahead. He'll leave at the same time? What? Well, Nance won't leave CBS. He'll stay on CBS for golf. I don't think he's going to retire. I don't think Nance will retire after 62. He should. But I think it will just be JB. And I can't imagine a game without a scorebook. You know, it's a permanent fixture. People hated it, or not hated it, but people were confused at the time because it took up space. But it took up no space. Like, I look back at those things like, it took up no space. But I don't think he's going to leave CBS, like, exactly leave. Like, he'll still be involved in some capacity, right? He does news for him, too, as well. I just think the Super Bowl would probably be a good time for him to just be a natural sending off point for a legend. But for the World Cup, yeah, 94 they had it. Because the whole thing with the World Cup was that there were no commercials. So they had to figure out a way to advertise during the game without going to commercial. I have no clue, Dexy, how any of that works. I have no clue. Do they own someone else's pick? I have no clue. Well, they had Starbucks first. That's a way to advertise stuff. Fox was the first to, like, it wasn't for advertising purposes. Alright, I think 1 or 2 more clips of Reynolds should be good. I just want to make sure it's not like a Hail Mary or something on this. I just have our own? Yeah, I'm not sure how that works then. I have no clue. Something's not adding up. I did for NHL. You don't remember what the bug looked like for NHL? Like exactly what the bug looked like. The advertiser logo next to the bug. Yeah, I don't remember that. And the glow puck, yep. Just Pizza Hut logo for a few minutes in spirit. Oh, it's not too bad. Especially compared to what we have now with digital sponsorships, so like, that's not too bad. I never understood why they said that, like, this brought to you by this, because a lot of people are watching the game at a bar or with people, so you don't really hear it. So it falls on deaf ears. I guess the audience won't even be able to hear that it's sponsored by this, so having the logo makes way more sense. Okay, it comes on this drive. So draft lotteries are damn confusing. If it's done poorly. I'm not a draft lottery guy. Like, God help me the day the NFL... And they'll never do it, but if the NFL ever gets one. My friend Shirley said, yeah, it makes sense. Can I edit this part? Yeah, I can. There we go. Draft lottery should be 1 hour before the draft. Oh, God. That would be nuts. 1 hour before the draft would be nuts. So no one knows until draft night where you're picking. That would be insane. Let's search for yep. Nope. NBC right. 1990. They missed a goal. There was one game, I forget which game it was, but TNT missed a goal in 1990. They missed an actual goal. Which, I don't know how you do that at the World Cup. It's like a video game, yep. Well, this year with the World Cup, they're doing in quarters. Well, it's sort of halves, but there's a mandatory hydration break at the 22 halfway through. So it's pretty much like quarters. And they're going to go to commercial during that. Random number in a briefcase, having a camera out of the Hall of Fame all year. Still not worse than any idea that Silver's come up with to fix the lottery. Who had that idea? I wonder who. Somehow not worse than Silver's idea of... Yeah, let's the playoff teams be in the lottery, too. Two brackets have a Spurs rookie C winning. I saw it Nuggets Pistons, but yeah. Top pick is announced. That team should already announce who they're selecting. Yeah. Just right on the spot. Yeah, next year's going to be a good class, Dexy. Next year's going to be a very good class. I've been tanking for years, yeah. I just love the one time it was to monitor the entire situation was punishing the Jazz for tanking in a game that they won. Like, that's what I don't get about Silver. Like, you punish the team for tanking, but they won the game, so they clearly weren't tanking. Oh, yeah, conveniently, the worst players coming from more playing time. Yep. I think Tree did a video on that one. Yeah, the Mavericks, that was nuts. They were, like, still alive in the playoff run, and they just... Luka got, like, a phantom injury. Alright, they somehow won more cups. Worked out alright. Okay, wait. Just need to get one more clip, and that should be okay. There were allegations about the Mercury tanking on purpose? For Griner? I was gonna say it had to be for Griner. Oh, I get it. I mean, she could dunk. I remember the hype with Griner. It's like no one was tall enough to guard her, and she could dunk. But she didn't quite love... No. I mean, she was still great, but not... But I get it. I mean, she could do a standing dunk. Go Rivercats game? Oh, I have a great time. It must be so weird going to a minor league baseball game in the ballpark that has a major league team. That's gotta be so bizarre. Also, yeah, the whole Russia thing. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that whole thing. Oof. Yeah, the less said, the better on that. Oh, man. Idiot ticket director thought when Mercury Fish Storm was the whole building? For Brittany Griner? No. I gotta told you that wasn't gonna happen. There's only one player that can do that, and that's Caitlin Clark. If you have to think about it, it's not gonna happen. Caitlin Clark's only got only person that can do that. Like ever. In the history of the W. It's an idiot. I can tell just based on that one sentiment. Alright, I have the clips I need in. Maybe we'll go one more, actually. We'll go one more just to be on the safe side. Oops, not that. Buccaneers, Bears. See if they have this one. Oh, what week is this? Nope, week 16. They would not have that. That's fine. Falcons? I want to get like a long pick. Nah. Bucks Giants. No, they wouldn't have that. That's fine. Just need one more game. Alaska's a baseball league? Wait, I did not know that. Like an amateur league, or like an actual like pro league. So I've never heard of that. Can you bet on it? That's $1 million question. Can you bet on an Alaska baseball league? Cowboys Bucks. Let's make sure this isn't like a Hail Mary. ABL. Huh. Alright. I have one more clip of Reynolds and then we will be okay. I just have to record the script. Well, I have to write the script. The second part of the script, at least. Oh, amateur? Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. I was gonna say, right, because obviously there's the sun's out forever in Alaska in the summertime, and you're not gonna travel to different states or to Canada, so it makes sense for that. I didn't realize this is a big state too. It's the biggest state by landmass. Okay, amateur makes sense. Yeah, I was gonna say pro league. I would be like, wait, what? All right. Near the start of the second half. All right, last clip I need, and then we'll be good to go. To write the script. At least whatever I have left of the script. Yeah, she needs a bit of development. Yeah, Crook's 5. I don't know about that just yet. Her footwork would not work in the W. Her size isn't that good for in the W, where she can get away with some sloppiness. Perfect. How much is this? 40? Yeah, we'll go 40 on that. So I'll make sure I have enough clips. Better safe than sorry on this. Pretty good spot. Slow that down. Perfect. Move this clip over. Go there. This clip. Put it 40 like the rest of them. 40% speed. And there you go. Okay. So now we have about 20 minutes worth of clips. Which, more than enough for this script. So now we can write this bad boy. to SMU, so football media guide, record book. I know what records part 1, part 2 would be. Ball. Cherry ball. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, no, I don't think it'd be updated at that point now. Right, because obviously, I mean, 7-4 is incredible, but obviously, yeah, bets, you don't need 2 5s. Well, I think bets can play the 4. You just go Twin Towers, all height on that one. Be a crazy pain if bets can play the 4. But obviously, again, that's not happening. Mystics were the winners of the draft. Mystics, I like what they did. Collegiate League runs from early June to late July for Alaska baseball. That makes sense. College League, that would make sense. Also makes sense in June to July since you can play any hour of the day because the sun's always out. That makes tons of sense. So you have some stats. See like a only 5 teams in the league. It can't be that big of a league. Oh, wait, you can't see what I'm doing. I just realized that. Storm always on the draft or the trade, but yeah. Once it goes with the pick of 14, but they robbed them. They robbed Golden State high and dry. They want friends at work quit some. Oh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks. Always sucks when somebody you see every day, all of a sudden you don't see, you don't know when you're gonna see them again. Man, you might start again. Yep, I don't sleep. Nope, I do not sleep ever. Nope, if I'm not sleeping, I'm working. And man, yeah, the Mets won over the minimum today. The bats were good today. 3 hits, 28 guys to the plate. They were very, very sharp. Yeah, Raven's a bit of a weird pick for the Fever, because I'm not sure how well she's going to mesh with Clark. I think a lot of people have very good reason to be skeptical of that. Alright, let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can find some NFL draft footage. Yeah, she's kind of redundant. Also, like, not just redundant, but of course, the feud with Clark and everything. It's like bringing a potential cancer in there. The draft as if they think she won't be there. Cunningham, I liked her with Phoenix. I did like Cunningham with Phoenix, so. Not that. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out some mock drafts. Back in the day. It sucks at 4 picks total in the draft. Makes things very easy. Yep. So that makes things extremely easy. Like, I don't know what to do for this draft this year. Like, this is so unfamiliar territory for me as a Jaguars fan. Like, it doesn't feel like the draft is 8 days from now. Like, it really doesn't. Like, I'm used to picking in the top 5. I'm used to waiting for day 1, hoping my guy falls to us and we do the right thing. But this year it's like, okay, we don't pick until the late 2nd round. I don't know who's going to be left. I don't know how the board's playing out. They're not going to try for the rookie deals. No chance. No, they would lose too much revenue. Yeah, 6 players got drafted, 5 in the 1st round. It was crazy. I mean, that team was deep. That team deserved it. That team was really good. All good. All good on that one, Ninja. All good. You know, they do a lot of like military recognition with Jacksonville. It's a very much a military town. Yeah, for you, I don't know how Pittsburgh's gonna handle it. I have no clue. They'll find a way. Every city always finds a way to do it, but it's going to be unlike anything you've seen. Don't know anything? All right. That's good then. That's good. Tell me last year if he's or deal you offered 3 firsts, you say no? Well, I wouldn't say no, but just the amount of money you make off jersey sales and ticket sales, assuming she still plays at a high level. Unless she says, like, I'm not coming back. You keep her there as long as you can. Unless she flat out says, I'm not coming back. Like, the jersey sales will be through the roof. Entire fifth. Probably shouldn't do that unless you're just quoting Stan. Entire fifth Dermot drive. Quoting Stan. Hopefully, you're just quoting Stan. Otherwise, you should not be doing that. For obvious reasons. Is it when you do the Spokane jump? Yeah. You know, that was a disaster. Also, pandemic here, yep. So everyone was scrambling. Never said W2, jeez. At least you admit it. You know, that's the first step. First step is admitting you have a problem. That's the first step. Now, at least you know. This video about the Buccaneer, Hugh Culverhouse screwing someone over. It's about Hugh Culverhouse just sucking as an owner. I agree, David. I agree. And there's so many bad apples that we kind of need them. Yeah, I realized that immediately that I put in the wrong name. It's not the exact trade that they did. Ruben, I think I don't want to diminish, obviously, the loss of a human being, but I think in the sense of the draft, this is a non-story. He wasn't drunk. He complied with everything. It was a one-time thing. Only two players got drafted crazy. It's a one-time thing. He, like I said, wasn't drunk. The person who died was not wearing a seatbelt. Probably would have saved him life. I would have saved her life if she was wearing a seatbelt. And the family wants to move on from it. It doesn't hold it against Bane. And Bane was accountable in the meetings with teams and didn't try to duck away from it. I think it's not going to matter. I don't think it's going to matter. If Bane don't get that pass. He wasn't drinking, though. The girl wasn't wearing a seatbelt. There was another car involved. He complied with the officers. Believe me, I think drunk drivers are scum. Believe me, I think drunk drivers. I do not. I do not like people who are not careful on the road. I've been in an accident. It sucks. I've been in an accident. So I have like no sympathy for idiot drivers and drunk drivers and whatnot. This was not that case. This is not a case like that. I think the bigger question is, how did no one report on it for 2 years? And apparently every insider knew about this, but just never revealed it. I think that's the bigger story right now is, wait, you're telling me every insider knew this and they said, oh, it's not a surprise? Then why didn't you tell us? If it wasn't a surprise, why didn't you report on it? Why didn't you do your job? I filed extension because I never got W2. I had to file the estimated. Yeah, that's never fun. File estimations. Yeah, this is not like a drunk driving Georgia situation like that. This was a very different thing from other cases. This is an apples and oranges kind of thing. Where am I hating? Wait, where am I hating on you? I don't hate on anyone for their opinion. Unless it's like you're a Nazi or something like that. I don't hate on people for their opinion. I have no idea what you're talking about, Ninja. Life imprisonment for the girl not wearing her seatbelt? She wears her seatbelt. She's alive. If you don't think you should be going away the same... Huh? I don't care about him as an athlete. But I've been very adamant. I am very much a hard on crime, lock the door, throw away the key, drunk driver thing. I am very much I'm not defending Bane. I want to make that clear. I'm not I literally am agreeing with you. I'm saying this is not that situation. I literally am I'm agreeing with you. I literally am on your side. I'm saying what happened with Bane is not that situation. It's a completely different situation. If Bane was driving 3 times over the legal limit and killed someone, yeah, I would feel the same way. This is not that situation. Like, if Bane was driving with like a .21 and the police covered up because he was an athlete and he killed someone and did that and was not compliant and everything, I would very much be like, he should never see the light of day. This was not that. This was not a Henry Ruggs situation. This is not any sort of situation like the one involving the Colorado quarterback. This is not anything like that. So I don't know where you're coming from on that one. Like, in terms of me. I'm confused by that, because I'm on your side. Oh, yeah, and I agree too, yeah. Because it could have been worse. Well, she wouldn't have, because she'd be wearing her seatbelt. If it was her mom and she died in that wreck, it'd be sad I lost her mom, but I'd also be angry at her for not wearing her seatbelt. I'd be angry that her life could easily have been saved if she wore her seatbelt. I'm so confused. I am so confused by this. But if it was her mom and she died in that wreck, well, I'll put it this way, that the family forgives Bane and doesn't hold it against Bane as to what happened. The family of the person that died literally came out and said, like, we wish Bane the best in life. We don't hold it against him. What, he won the league? What come out? Huh? Seeing as he didn't drink, and there was another car involved, and he wasn't the 100% at fault. Oh yeah, I remember that, David. Yep. I mean, I would have no problem with that, Ninja. I won the league and walk around the streets. I mean, he got into a wreck. We're not doing life. And because if you're a regular guy, I guess we're doing life. For a regular wreck that would have been prevented if the person would have died or the person wouldn't have died if they wore their seatbelt. I think any good lawyer would have any lawyer would have been like, look, what happened was tragic, but he just got into a wreck. He wasn't drinking. He wasn't doing anything illegal. He just got into a wreck. If the person wore their seatbelt, huh? I honestly have no clue what you're talking about, Ninja. I honestly have no clue what you're talking about. I didn't hear about so. Where did I ever say that? Where did I ever say that? No regular person would go to jail for that. Honestly, no regular person would go to jail. If someone just got into a regular wreck, they weren't drinking, they complied with everything, and the person that died was not wearing a seatbelt, the driver, they would not go to jail. They would not go to jail. Act like you didn't hear about it. That's what we're talking about. That's all the news for the last 48 hours. My dog? Wait, what? My dog wasn't... What? What? If there was my dog that was driving? Or, like, wasn't wearing a seatbelt? I'd be like, why would... Huh? I'm, like, entertained by this. This is, like, really entertaining. I'm enjoying this. What? It was my dog that was the driver? What? This is like Air Bud? I mean, if it's like the driver or like the passenger that the dog died in a wreck, like, huh? I honestly have no clue what you're talking about. I know you're on like a lot of like, I know you're on like a fifth of Captain Morgan right now. So maybe that's what's, I know you're on a fifth of Captain Morgan, which I can't imagine how much that is. Because I don't drink, but. Yeah, your dog's driving. Just a fifth. I mean, I can link the police report. I mean, there was no alcohol involved. He wasn't driving 120. I just struck another vehicle and crashed. There were no, like... Big fellas from Green Movie Iceland? Yes. Oh, I'm so happy for him. So happy. I'm so happy for Tom. For Tom and Maya. They've been traveling a lot this offseason. I love that. Okay, but where was he driving 3 times over the speed limit? Show me where he was driving 3 times over the speed limit. If you can show me who was driving 3 times over the speed limit, I will change my opinion. And I will agree with you. Show me where he was driving 3 times over the speed limit. He's doing 100? Okay, where? First off, I don't see 100. I've looked at the police report. I don't see 100. Second off, 100, I don't want to say it's not fast, but... And where do you see 100? He would... Okay, well, you got to give me the proof, because I don't see it. Okay, wait, here's the crash report. Oh, no. Wait, it's on file? Tell me the site I gotta go to. Because I'm looking up crash report. I'm so confused. Okay. Let me download the crash report. So I've got it here. I've got the crash report. He was going 60. So estimated speed. Yeah, he was going 60 and a 60. Yeah, here's the crash report. Okay, ready? Here you go. Here's the crash report. Ruben Bain, this is why it's a non-story, okay? At least from a draft perspective, okay? The speed limit, where the injury happened. Where am I giving a pass? He went 60 and a 60. Yeah, where's it? Where like there? Yep, with the Vikings. Yep. They do 100 with Meskov. Yep. Yes, he was. He was doing 60 in a 60. So like, he was literally going the speed limit. He wasn't even speeding. He just lost control of the vehicle. He was not drinking. He was not under the influence of anything. He just crashed. He lost control. And the girl wasn't wearing her seatbelt. How am I defending him? Defending because the victim didn't wear a seatbelt. 60 and a 30 and a 60. He was going. Can you not see? Can you not? At estimated speed, 60. Posted speed sign, 60. He was not speeding. Again, I'll link the police report. He was going 60 in a 60. He lost control. The passenger wasn't wearing a seatbelt. He was not drinking. He was not under any drugs. It was just a horrible accident that would not have happened if she was wearing her seatbelt. Feel half the... What? Well, you can't even spell the name right. He killed one... First off, that implies that he's responsible. That implies that he's responsible. One person, not people. Let's get that straight. One person, not people, who would not have died if she was wearing her seatbelt. Look, accidents suck. I'm sure Bain feels horrible about the situation. Bain feels horrible about the situation. Why do you wish I would feel pain? Why would you wish that? People directly responsible. And like police won't. What? You're on so much Captain Morgan right now. You are on so much Captain Morgan. You're gonna look back at this and be like, what the heck was I arguing about? It was not a hit and run. He stayed at the scene. But okay. They given pass? Why? I would be angry at my mom for not wearing a seatbelt. Like bottom report, yeah, with the traffic, yep. That's police report. What? The police report tells you everything that happened. Wait, 2022? That has to be a typo. It has to be 2000. No, 2002. Wait, it's just... No, 2002. 2002. 2002. Oh, below that. Wait. Oh, yeah. Date of birth, yeah. January... Yeah, that had to be a typo. That has to be a typo. Yep. That has to be a typo. Typo? It's a type. You honestly think the person was 2, Ninja? We're still here. Yep. There isn't typo in police report. You don't think it's not possible for someone to actually type in 2022 instead of 2002? You don't think that's not possible? And obviously the person was not 2 years old. Because she was a college student. I know she's not 2. Unless she's like the smartest 2-year-old ever. Like, I really don't want to make it seem like a non-story, but it's like one of the days you get double points for attendance, Saturday WrestleMania. Ooh. Actually, it says WrestleMania. Wow. I don't think you've read the police report, Ninja. Somebody was 2 driving the other vehicle. What? Read the police report, then get back to me. I'll put it that way. I gotta add this video. Read the police report, then get back to me. Here's the report. You can download the file when you're not on a Fifth of Captain Morgan and read it yourself. But Bane, it's a complete non-story from a draft status. Bane, it was just a horrible accident. Again, I'm not one to defend drunk drivers or reckless drivers like that. This was just a horrible accident. He was going the speed limit. He was not speeding. He was not impaired in any way. He was not drunk in any way. He complied with everything. And Betts would still be alive if she wore her seatbelt. This is a complete non-story from a draft perspective. And I would not at all take Bane anywhere down on my board or move it from my board as a result of this. Get a burger starting at $6.99? Oh boy. So the cheapest burger is $6.99. They dropped that promotion? Oh. You told the manager we'll call and get it fixed? Oh, you should have just kept going with it. It could have been like false advertising. Could have just kept getting the $6.99 burgers. And a bit before that. Oh, okay. Your regular? Oh, okay. I get the regular discount? That's nice. I can totally like you. That's good. I like going into a place and I can just go in and like, already the order's already in there. Like, no more cheers, sir? Yep. That's me at the bar. Everyone knows me. I walk in, they immediately hand me a water. Like, they all know me. Everyone's got one place like that. Everyone needs one place in their life that's just like that. There was one time, like, the security guard at the bar, like, I was like, I had a bottle of water, I didn't realize it, and I, like, because you're not allowed to bring, like, a bottle of water into the bar. So, like, I left outside, so, like, you bring that in. Like, you're good. You don't need to leave it out. You come back in, you have several, nice. So you can come in with that. I'm like, okay. Like, sweet. Or, like, they're, like, I see, like, the security goes, like, hey, what do you got for us tonight? What's the song tonight? Like, sometimes the bartenders, like, ask me, like, can you do this song? I'm like, okay. I'm like, let's do it. You know, I love it. Got them at 2 p.m. Still drinking them? Oh, wow. 12 hours to down a Sprite. World's slowest chug right there. Wait, it was not the 30th pick. They give them tickets? Oh, that's nice. Look, it's good publicity. It's great publicity. I was on Price is Right. All right. $58? Wow. I can imagine what prices were like back then. Must have been a pretty boring game back then. Gotta be within $1. The showcase is like Everything cost like $1 back then, so. That must have been interesting. Maybe within $1, guess the price of this food item. More or less than $1. Less. No showcases? Nice. Are they on houses? Oh, wow. Okay. Bit more expensive. Wow. You gonna keep the house? I can imagine it's a very different show. Half hour of bidding. Wow. That does not sound fun, necessarily. For some, they were like very little on television. Former contestant bid on things that would keep bidding on a price till buzzer rang until it was a one-bid item. Had to keep bidding above your opponent. If you bid below him, your bid froze. Or decided to freeze. Same rule, actual reason point out going over. Okay. That's a very different show. Just nothing but bids. Yeah, script is pretty much done. We'll just double check. Anything I want to add? Yeah, I think that risk paid off. It'll take a while to say that risk paid off. So I'm missing any newspaper articles. Yeah, the games worked out pretty well. Yeah, the games worked out extremely well. Because that show would have been DOA without him in the 70s, I would think. If it was that current format. What are we doing tomorrow? We're doing D-backs Orioles and Padres against Mariners. So Padres, Mariners, and D-backs Orioles. All right. Script is done. So I want to show you, go a little bit behind the scenes on this one. Reproduction of a 1901 Oldsmobile. Wow. Because I haven't made the thumbnail for this yet, so let's try this. Very simple check. Mariners Padres. The game is in San Diego. Okay. So let me show you how I make these thumbnails. Okay. We're going to copy paste just so I have the format in. I'll show you how I do this. Take this out. Take that out. We're going to go Mariners of the road team. So we got the logo here. Now. That should be the bonus of brand new Oldsmobile. That is incredible. All right. Now Padres. Oh, I don't have the Padres logo loaded to canvas. So let me go Padres ESPN. Google Images. Drag the image in. All right, now I'm going to get this Padres logo just so I have a color to a frame of reference to. Yeah, that's good. There we go. So I have that. So that's that. Now English to Japanese. Put that in. There's the Mariners. San Diego Padres. Oh yeah, I remember. Yep, I remember that one. Yep, I remember that one. All right, so that's that. And now, so I want to experiment with this. I want Cal Raleigh and I want Fernando Tatis. I'll make 3D a little bit bigger. Yeah. Really emphasize the fact that it's 3D. So there's Raleigh. And then Fernando Tatis. Oh, that. Oh, wait, I did not know that. All right, so I'm going to remove the background from this image of Tatis. Cal Raleigh. Remove that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. But he wanted the elephant. He didn't want the 4,000 cash. He actually want. What do you even do with an elephant? What do you even do with that? All right, now transparency. Do that. Let's take a look at the entire back. Yeah, that works. So you gotta see Raleigh like that. So bonus time, it was meant to be a joke. Bruce had to get one from Ken. Oh my god. They would never offer that again, I'm guessing. I'm guessing they would never offer a joke item like that ever again. Alright, so there's that. And now obviously position it backward. Do that. There's Tatis. Yeah. He's not allowed to be on either. He knows too many people. Yeah, there we go. I just want to make the outline a little bit thicker on that. Now we're doing it like that. Yeah. Man, I just want to see what would happen. Let's not experiment. I don't think I'm gonna do it, but I just want to see what the heck would happen. Actually, don't hate that. We're gonna just test it out. We're gonna test it out. Yep. I'm gonna record the script, but if you're I just want to see how that... We're just going to try it out. For that thumbnail, I have no clue if it's going to work or not. We can experiment. Okay, that might be a bit... Yeah. Let's try that. Reduce the transparency a little bit. And that one's fine, but... Yeah. That'll be a thumbnail for the Mariners Padres, because I hadn't made that one yet. And then, let me just make some scoreboards for that. Copy paste. I never delete anything, I just copy paste. Alright, now get the exact standings. 9-7. D-backs are 9-8. Which I'm still very, very okay with. Even for that bullpen catastrophe today. Yeah, I've been to a X Factor taping. Very different than what you see on TV. Oh wait, I'm an idiot. Wait, I just realized something. I have a D-backs as a road team one. So let's do that. Ellie's got everything with the shows. I was gonna say I already have that. Let's do that. The Orioles are what, 9-7? Yeah, they're 9-7. So we get Orioles. X Factor show at Universal? There's an X Factor show? There was American Idol at Disney World. There was an X Factor show at Universal? I didn't know about that. You mean Fear Factor? There was Fear Factor. Wait, hang on. No, there could not have been X Factor. You mean Fear Factor, right? Where there was Fear Factor at Universal. You're talking about Fear Factor, right? Let's try to find a good gradient that gets it to the darks and whatnot. And DE4601. I remember the Fear Factor show was right next to Men in Black. Yeah, Fear Factor, yeah. X Factor was the singing competition. That was a singing competition where they discovered Fifth Harmony, and on the UK version, One Direction. All right, go on that one, Turtle. You're good. A very different show. I guess that was next to Men in Black, like the expo spot of Universal on the right side of the park. All right, so now I'm just getting my below bar sorted out. Might as well just kill two birds with one stone on this. Delete that. Download. Remove the background. Again, I'm going to record the script in about, I'd say, 5 minutes. Just want to get all the assets that I need right now, because why not? Because I'm on schedule. I'm very much ahead of schedule with this, so I won't say ahead of schedule, but it's not too bad of an edit. Because the clips are in, the script is done, I just have to record everything. But let me just change this now. I don't have to change the Mets score at least. That's good. I have no idea who's going to be pitching or anything, but we're starting. All right. Like, I don't know who's going to be leading off. Rossini update? Nothing yet. They're investigating. They are investigating Rossini for wrongdoing, and I would not be surprised if she gets fired at this point. Would not shock me at all if she gets fired. Like, she lied to her employer. It's not looking good for her. is very much not looking good. So you don't lie to your employer, you don't break the #1 rule of journalism. Or the QR code, it's not going to be there because I have to change some things. Is that the right one? Yep, that's the right one. Yeah, that's the right one. Yep, perfect. Now let me just do the same thing with the Mariners. Getting the scoreboard up and everything. Oh yeah, Barstool's gonna give her a job, 100%. Barstool will give her a job. She's buddy with the part of my take guys. They will 100% give her a job. Like, no doubt in my mind. She'll land on her feet at Barstool and other body parts at Barstool as well, I would assume. She'll land on insert whatever body part you want on that one. All right, 10-6 for the Padres. This might as well share like some behind the scenes stuff of how I do this. Mariners. Start off with the primary color. This one I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'll go the old school logo. Oh, you know, it's crazy, Turtle, that they control the narrative like that. It's crazy. Like, they know, like they're not public, like, they're not private figures in the eyes of the court, but like, the public people are not public figures in the eyes of the court because when you go to a concert, you consent to, well, being shown on the Jumbotron and everything, so. But for the purposes of sports, sir, they 100,000% private. They have no reason to make fun of that. And then Rossini, who was employed by them, they stay silent. For, well, we know why. If they control the narrative. Bane update? He's going to be fine. Team seemed pretty satisfied with his explanation. The police report came out. Wasn't anything crazy. Police report, he was going the speed limit. It was, the person that died would have lived if they wore their seatbelt. It just was an unfortunate accident. But I don't think anything can happen to Bane. He's not going to slip that far. He showed remorse during the, oops, wrong thing. He showed, oh, is that what he did? Wait, 581 FOC. He showed remorse during the thing, during the meetings, and he explained the situation pretty well. Didn't try to duck from it, so he'll be fine. All right, that works. Okay, so we have that score bug for tomorrow with the Hundo Jack. If we hit 100 on this stream, I will do the D-back scheme. Otherwise, we're not going to do a game on Wednesday. Because I'm going to see Bruno Mars on Wednesday. So because of that, I will be will not be doing a baseball game that day. We will just do a Q&A OT on Wednesday, if not. Otherwise, we will do the D-backs game. Otherwise, I'll just save my voice, because I'm probably going to lose it at the concert with how crazy that's going to be. Alright, so the assets are in for the Mariners stream. Padres, beautiful. Okay. Articles are in as well. Script is in. Everything should be good to go. Let me just double check. We should be okay. Wondering what average script is like, word count wise. This one's 2,700. Bit on the, I don't want to say longer side, but it's usually about 3.5 pages. This one's 4. Clips, I only need clips of Ball and clips of Reynolds, and I have them both. So I just don't need that many clips of Reynolds. I just realized that I don't need that many clips of him. All right, here we go. So I'm going to record the script, so if anything happens in the chat... Oh, that was bad. I scratched myself, and it was like, it was on a boil. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, man. Okay. Mike Tomlin's 8, nothing. Nothing on Tomlin just yet. Nothing there. He's going to go in the media field. He's going to bide his time. Usually all these media guys sign contracts in June. Like, they don't announce the announcers until like late July, early August anyways for CBS and Fox, so. Tomlin's biding his time. Especially with potential shakeups at CBS and especially with the shakeup at NBC, with certain guys being out at NBC. He's in no rush. I don't blame him. He's in no rush. All right, so now what I do is I open up GarageBand. So 20 players, Ryan Moore made the hole in one on the 17th and went straight into the hole, didn't touch the ground. That is impressive. The same, right. Oh, yeah, the 17th, yep. Same from the Super 39 pregame show, yep. Most famous hole in golf, the Island Green at 17. At least for my money, I would assume it's the most famous hole in golf. The Island Green at 17 at Sawgrass. That is lucky. I mean, you gotta be lucky to hit a hole in one, but it's lucky to just go straight dunk. Because otherwise, you land that hard, you're going bouncing off the green at that point. The best hole in one, there was one in like, I think Ernie Els. It's like 2007. Hit a hole in one off another person's ball. That was a crazy one. It was Ernie Els at like some Canadian tournament on the PGA. And he hit a hole in one off someone else's ball. Fell directly into the hole. That is... I see, if that ever happened to me, I would not even celebrate. I'd be like, where's my ball? I feel like that'd be one of those things where I would not even celebrate. Because I would think my ball overshot the hole or like completely missed. Like there's certain moments you can tell it's a hole in one. Like if you hit a ball on the green, it's rolling, and then it just disappears. You know you hit a hole in one. It's like approaching the flag and it just disappears. But for something like that, I would think I overshot it. I would not even think to look. If that happened to me, I guess at 17th it's different because it's an island, so there's nowhere for it to go. But if that happened to me at like a regular thing with no island or anything like that, I would look for my ball, couldn't find it, I'd play a provisional off the green, because we know it's around there somewhere, and only afterwards, after I get like a 5, that's where my short game sucks, only after that would I look and be like, oh, my ball went in, I got a hole in one. That would be me. Like, it's not easy to play on the PGA Tour, but I truly believe it is easier than regular golf to play on the PGA Tour than to play regular golf. Because on the PGA Tour, you don't deal with slowpokes in front of you. And on the PGA Tour, you have an entire crowd of people who can help you find your ball. You play rounds that are not a bad pace, and you have people finding your ball for you. So, all right, I'm going to record this script. So, not going to look at the chat for the next 15 minutes, so if I miss anything in the chat, I'll get to it afterwards. Don't you worry. But I have to record the script, and we will then put in the AI tool, the Adobe podcast thing to filter the background noise, and then that should do it. So let me do this thing right now, and then we get to go. There we go. Put the clock in the wrong spot. Just realized that. Want to see how I'm doing time-wise while also looking at the script. Shares I can play with and whatnot. I want you to picture this scenario. It's draft day, and you're a player waiting anxiously for that phone call to arrive from one of the general managers. I think there was like a bit of a... It was like a bit of a like a big like on that, so I just want to redo that since it's early on in the script. So it was like a big... It was like a big one, so... Try that again. I want you to picture this scenario. Wait, I heard I did like a beforehand. That's going to get caught on that, so. I want you to picture this scenario. It's draft day, and you're a player waiting anxiously for that phone call to arrive from one of the general managers, letting you know that you are now officially a member of their team, and you're officially going to be a player in the National Football League. You're watching the draft on TV, you're on the edge of your seat with each second that passes feeling like hours, and finally, you get that call. You get the notice that a team is interested in you, and they're going to take you with their next pick. They're about to be on the clock. They give you a heads-up call to let you know that they're ready to take you when it's their turn, and you get all excited. You picture yourself playing in that market for that team and that coach. You let your family know, and you're on cloud 9. The wait is about to be over. They tell you that they'll call you back in a couple of minutes when it's their turn to pick, and that if you haven't been taken yet, you're going to be the pick, and you're going to play for them at the next level. Then, they get on the clock, and you're expecting that return phone call and to see your name on TV, and then nothing happens. The team that said they were going to take you winds up never calling you back, winds up ghosting you, and winds up taking someone else. And this isn't a prank call or anything along those lines, a la what happened with Shedeur Sanders and the Atlanta Falcons at the 2025 NFL Draft. This isn't a prospective call that you make on the third day to an undrafted free agent, where you say up front that you want them to come to your team as an undrafted free agent if they haven't been taken yet. This is a team flat out telling you in no uncertain terms that you are going to be drafted by them with their next pick in a couple of minutes. And that pick never happens. You were lied to. You were duped. You were deceived. Well, I bring that up because the man you've been watching this entire time is Detroit Lions defensive tackle Jerry Ball. And the story of how he got drafted by the Lions is one of deception and scummy behavior by, oddly enough, a team in their own division. And even if I didn't give away anything in the title or the thumbnail or anything like that, if I said that an NFC Central team in the late 80s pulled off a really scummy move regarding a draft prospect, and I gave you one guess to figure out what NFC Central team it was, it wouldn't be that much of a mystery. Because of course it was Hugh Culverhouse, maybe the worst stoner of all time, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because in 1987, the Bucs were this close to drafting Ball, and more than 4 decades later, this story about a team lying to a young man deserves a deep dive today. Because this is the story behind one of the biggest draft controversies in the history of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the story of how they didn't wind up with Jerry Ball. Make sure you hit that like button down below, subscribe, hype up that video, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we post on the channel. Because we post every single day on here about the weird and the wacky history of the NFL with stories like this one that you may not have heard of before. So if you like that sort of stuff, then this is definitely the place for you. Thanks in advance for liking and subscribing, and for hyping up the video, and for helping us grow this community. And with that in mind, let's talk about the time that Jerry Ball was not the life of the ball. But before I get into what exactly the Buccaneers decided to do with this man right here, we need some context to understand who Jerry Ball was and how good of a player he was coming out of college. To say that Ball was an absolute beast up the middle would be putting it lightly. If you needed someone who could stuff the run, Ball was your man. If you needed someone who could rush the passer and provide good pressure on the interior of the defensive line, Ball was your man. Ball was so good that despite being a nose tackle, he ended his career at SMU with 17 sacks. Not only does this rank inside the top 10 all-time today in school history, but by the time he finished playing with the Mustangs in 1986, it ranks second in program history. Of course, things went downhill for SMU after that 1986 season, but that's neither here nor there. In 1984, SMU had one of the best defenses in the nation, ranking inside the top 20 in points allowed, and Ball played a big part in that, as he led the team in every category imaginable, including tackles, tackles for a loss, forced fumbles, and sacks, even ending the year with a whopping 15 tackles for a loss, or more than one per game. SMU finished the 1984 season as co-champions of the Southwest Conference and as a top 10 team in the nation, and the play of Jerry Ball was a big reason why. And after he followed that 1984 season with a team-high 7 sacks in 1985 and a team-high 4 sacks in 1986, meaning that he led the team in sacks in 3 consecutive years, everyone knew that Ball was going to be a highly touted prospect and was going to make an immediate impact on someone's defensive line, and was going to go relatively high in the draft. And one of the teams supposedly interested in Ball? That was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who were coming off of an abysmal season in 1986, where they were 2-14, where they lost their final 7 games, and where nothing went right for them at all. I would say it was their worst season in franchise history, and for just about every other franchise, it would be. But this is Hugh Culverhouse we're talking about. The 1976 season exists as well. 86 was just a blip on the radar. They sucked that much under him. Still, the Bucs were, nonetheless, a joke in 1986, especially on the defensive side of the ball, where they ranked dead last in points allowed, allowing close to 30 points per game, dead last in yards allowed, dead last in rushing yards allowed, and dead last in yards per carry allowed, allowing an astonishingly high 4.7 yards per carry at a time when the league-wide average was under 4 yards a carry. This man right here, Jerry Ball, was known as a run stuffer and as someone who could clog up lanes easily. And if the Bucs were going to improve their defense, then Ball seemed like a logical fit for the team if he slipped to the second round. Sure enough, the Buccaneers liked what they saw in the man he'd been watching this entire time, Jerry Ball. And the Buccaneers liked him so much that when the second round rolled around, the Buccaneers called him up and said that they were about to draft him. Tampa Bay had the 36th pick in the draft. They actually had 3 picks in the second round, including pick 50 and pick 51. But based on everything that was reported on, including Ball's own recollection of the event in the immediate aftermath, we know that they wanted to take him with pick number 36 and make him the 3rd defensive tackle off the board. Hugh Culverhouse and the organization told him that they were about to make him a Buccaneer when it was time for them to get on the clock in a couple of moments, assuming no one had taken him by that point. So they told him to just stay by the phone, don't go anywhere, and we're going to get you down to Tampa and make you a Buccaneer. If it seems a bit odd that a player would get called by a team before he get drafted by them to let them know that they were going to take him if he was still there, it's not entirely crazy to think about just to make sure that they're around the phone, especially back then when information didn't travel as fast and he wanted to make sure that nothing happened to them or that they were still alive. Ball was waiting for that second call from the Bucs. The organization said it was going to be approximately 10 minutes until they were on the clock and they'd take him. And as you might have been able to guess by these highlights, that never happened. Not because the Lions had a higher pick than the Bucs and decided to leapfrog them, but rather because the Buccaneers just straight up ghosted him. The Bucs never called back, and they wound up drafting someone else. The Buccaneers told Ball, "Congratulations, we really like you, and we're ready to make you a Buccaneer," only to them never make him a Buccaneer. And if there's anything worse at the NFL draft than waiting a long time for your name to be called, it's waiting a long time for your name to be called when you thought you'd be gone by this spot, especially when you were explicitly told that you'd be gone by this spot, and you start seeing the money slipping away from you with each passing spot, because a contract at pick number 36 is definitely not the contract you're going to get in the third round. As Ball said, they said they were going to take me. They said, "Stay by the phone. We're going to call you back in 10 minutes. I wasn't disappointed by them not drafting me. I was disappointed because they raised a lot of emotions in me and my family. After that, I said, I hope Tampa doesn't get another chance to draft me. I didn't want to play there." Tampa got 3 more chances to draft him, as they had pick 50, pick 51, and pick 57. And all 3 times, they passed on him, either completely oblivious to the fact that they literally called up Ball and told him he was going to get drafted by them in a couple of minutes, or because Hugh Culverhouse had no regard for anyone but himself. Eventually, the Lions stopped his slide and decided to take him for real at pick number 63, 27 spots later than where the Bucs initially said they were going to take him. But the damage had been done. Ball, while happy that he was a Lion and happy that he was reunited with defensive end Reggie Rogers, who he became close friends with during the pre-draft process, was livid with the Bucs, and understandably so, for getting his hopes up and leaving him out to dry, and was livid at the pain that they put not only him through, but his family through. As Ball would later recall, before the season started, Tampa Bay called me before their pick in the second round, pick number 36, and said, "How would you like to be a Buccaneer?" They said to stay by the phone. I watched TV and waited for them to call my name. When they didn't, it upset me and my family. Then Detroit picked me. I prefer to play there anyway. Of course, I'd enjoy playing for anybody that picked me, but I feel like I can get more out of Detroit, going to the playoffs and all, quicker than I can at Tampa Bay. He was not wrong about that, I'll tell you that much. And while you could say he was still holding a grudge about what the Buccaneers did to him, I'd probably be the same way, and don't blame him one bit for that. Now, to be fair to the Buccaneers, despite this incredibly scummy behavior, they ended up drafting a darn good player with that pick in the second round, as the man that they drafted, this man right here, Ricky Reynolds, was one of the few Buccaneer players back then who didn't outright suck. In fact, he was quite good. Reynolds doesn't exactly have the accolades like Pro Bowls or All Pros, partly because he was on the Buccaneers, who were absolutely terrible, and not many people cared about the Bucs or watched the Bucs. However, Reynolds was one of the few bright spots on those teams in the late 80s and the early 90s, as he was a shutdown cover corner who frequently appears on lists of the greatest Bucs of all time. He started 103 games for the team over 7 seasons, and was so good that Andre Rison, one of the best receivers of the 1990s, and maybe one of the best receivers of all time, said that Reynolds was one of the best cornerbacks he had ever faced, which is strong praise from Rison, seeing as Rison was a notorious trash talker who never liked to praise anyone. Reynolds finished his Bucs career with 17 interceptions and was third all-time in picks by the time his career with the team ended. Anytime you start over 100 games with a team and finish third all-time in a major statistical category for that team, all while being regarded as one of the best in the league, you clearly did something right. So I can't say that this lie, as scummy as it was, didn't work out for Tampa, because Reynolds was a really good cornerback who made plays and earned the respect of opposing wideouts around the league. But Jerry Ball was, well, Jerry Ball. This man right here was dominant. Absolutely dominant. Maybe the Bucs don't regret drafting Reynolds over Ball, but the Bucs had 2 other picks in the second round before Ball went off the board in round 3, where they chose Miami linebacker Winston Moss and Mississippi State running back Don Smith. And I'm 100% confident that if they could do those picks over and make right by Ball and live up to their promise, even if it was a bit delayed, that they would do it, especially since Moss and Smith did nothing with the Bucs. Side note, the 3rd round pick that the Buccaneers had before the Lions were drafting was wide receiver Mark Carrier. They would not redo that. He was really good, so that was a base hit for sure, an extra base hit, but Smith and Moss not so much. Ball was miles better than either of those guys. Ball played 13 seasons in the NFL, and in his first 6 seasons with the Lions, made it to 3 Pro Bowls, and received AP First Team All-Pro honors during the 1991 season when the Lions made it to the NFC Championship for the first time since the merger. He was named an AP Second Team All-Pro in 1990, and while Ball was often incredibly outspoken about the Lions and their front office mismanagement, even resulting in him requesting a trade after the 1992 season and leaving the team on somewhat rocky terms, when he was in his prime around the turn of the decade, the man truly was one of the most dominant interior defensive linemen in the NFL. Not only that, but Ball ended up playing 191 games in his NFL career across 13 seasons, making him the only defensive lineman in that class to play that many games while being named an AP First Team All-Pro at least one time. While the Buccaneers pulling a scummy move didn't necessarily hurt them at the end of the day, it definitely benefited their division rival, because I'm sure the Lions were not complaining with how that pick turned out, especially since they whiffed on almost everyone else that they drafted that year. This wasn't the first time that the Buccaneers, under the guidance of Hugh Culverhouse, decided to screw over a college kid. Heck, 1 year before, they infamously screwed running back Bo Jackson out of his college baseball eligibility, then drafted him after Jackson had every reason to reject them. To say that Culverhouse was a dirty owner would be putting it lightly. And while you probably know about the Bo Jackson story, this one was probably one that you didn't know about before clicking on this video. Having said that, if there's any front office executives watching this video, I really shouldn't have to say this because it's just common courtesy and common sense and should go without saying. But don't call up a player and tell him that you're going to be drafted by them and then leave them hanging and not draft them, especially if you're keeping your pick. It was scummy to do back in 1987, and it'd be scummy to do 4 decades later. Because on the day of the NFL draft in 1987, when it came to how they handled his draft status, it's fair to say that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers dropped the ball on Jerry Ball. All right, what did I miss? Okay, no one commented anything. All right. Oh, no one commented anything during that. Okay. Now, I need to export this. That was an 18-minute script. Now, I did make 2 boo-boos in that one. That's fine. So I'll title it Jerry Ball Draft 87. All right, now I can get to everything in chat, if there are any comments or anything. But I'll take that. 2 minor hiccups for an 18-minute script. Yep. Fine with me. Fine by me. Alright. Now, in terms of the clips I have for Ball as a player, how many minutes do I have of him as a player? Yeah, that works. That works. Okay. So that's that. Recently added. I'm going to do, again, it's the one time I use AI on this. Let's get rid of the background noise. Ball 87 draft. Put it in Adobe Podcast. Now, these clips are 30%. I'm a bit worried I'm not going to have enough if I leave it like that. So I'm going to change it to 25, which is usually what I put it at anyways. Usually just go 25, regardless. Sometimes it doesn't click. Reynolds, I have enough. Playing clips have enough. 25, yeah. I guess that extends by an extra 2 minutes of clips. And for an 18-minute script, that gives you some wiggle room to play with. So, no issues there. We're almost at the end. We're almost at the end of the process. So, again, it's enhancing with speech right now. Wait, good question. Wait. I don't know what the question was. I just saw... Oh, CMC. Oh, I didn't see you, man. I'm so sorry, man. CMC, how's it going? I did not see you. I'm sorry. For whatever reason, it didn't pop up on top chat. I had to switch to live chat. My apologies on that. I didn't see you. Man, I'm sorry about that. So Browns trade, I still really like the trade made with y'all last year in the draft. How do we feel about it? Yeah, that's a good question. I'm so sorry I didn't see you earlier. Man. Yeah, for whatever reason, top chat's not showing up for you, but live chat is. So, how do I feel about the trade? I would not do it over again if I could. I loved it at the time. I still love it now. Look, obviously, Mason Graham isn't very good for you guys. But Travis Hunter... Oh, you're good. I appreciate you, man. Travis Hunter is better than anyone I think we could have gotten at our current pick right now if we kept the pick. You're getting 2 players for the price of 1. So how I looked at it is we gave up a draft pick for a receiver and a cornerback. We don't really need him at receiver anymore necessarily. He is electric with the ball in his hands. He catches everything. He's made some incredible circus catches. The San Fran game from his own end zone. The KC game with that mossing. He's still a dynamic receiver with the ball in his hands. He'll get a full off season to learn the playbook. He's still going to play wideout. He's not a full-time corner. He's going to play wideout. It will be not every down because we don't need him to because we have Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington, and Brian Thomas. So we have a very good 1-2-3. But he was very good at cornerback. When he played corner, he was shutting guys down. He was very, very good at cornerback. He's a better corner than he is a receiver, and he's great at both. So I think you still get a guy that is going to be a shutdown corner. Yeah, I think it's win-win so far. I'm with you. I think it's win-win. Hunter's been... I've enjoyed watching Hunter. He's just different. Hunter's a guy that whenever the ball is in his hands, you just know he's like on a different playing field than everyone else. I've never really felt that way about a Jaguar. Maybe Justin Blackmon when he was in his prime. But where you just watch him and you feel like they're playing a different sport. Like he's just making guys miss in the open field. He's so good with the ball in his hands. You get 500 yards a season out of Hunter, and you get him to be a shutdown corner. I mean, that's worth 2 first-round picks and a... Not really a... That's worth an extra first-round pick and a second for me. I love the guy. Browns seem like they did well in the trade, too. I mean, obviously, Judkins has been good. Hopefully, he comes back from the injury. And obviously, Graham's been very good for you guys. But I wouldn't do it over again. I would not do it over again. A big Rizzy Graham with the sack. Yep, exactly. Yep, he clogged up the middle. Him clogging the middle allowed Gary to get free on the outside. That's huge. That is huge. He's not the only dog on the It's not the only dog on the line anymore. Like, I'm really excited to see what Howard can do next year. I'm really excited for that. All right. So now what I need to do is get these clips in. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just copy and paste all of them into the, like, in order. Wait. All these clips in order. I know what I need, the clips that I'm going to end up needing. Okay, so here we go. Raise the audio. Oh, I already raised it. Okay. I don't need to really edit too much with this audio. I just need to get the like and subscribe button. Click that over. Tate, oh, that'd be a good pick. Yeah, you definitely need offensive help. Yeah, Proctor's an interesting guy. He's big, obviously. He's big. They ran some trick plays with him too. This wasn't crazy about, but they did run some trick plays with him at Bama. Proctor's got the frame. We have 11. Yep, we have 11 picks. We have 4 in the first 2 days. Because I don't know how Gladstone pulled this off, but the Isaac Tesla trade, I don't know what the lines were on when they made that trade. The Jaguars got 2 thirds in this year's draft and an extra third in last year's draft with a Tesla trade. If you overthink Tate, I think the only reason, and I do understand to some extent with Tate, I think people overthink with Tyson. I think Tyson's the number 1. Ohio State always produces good receivers. I think my only concern with Tate, and it's not really a knock on him, it said Jeremiah Smith is so good that people put their number 2 corner on Tate. So if he has to be a number 1 right away, it might not be the best. Because he's going from playing corners that are not going to play in the NFL to the best of the best if he's the 1. Which I get, but I mean, I wouldn't overthink it with Tate. He's good. But Tyson is my pick. I'm an ASU alum. ASU law alum, so Tyson's my pick if I'm taking a receiver. But 11 picks, we're not going to use all 11. I'd be shocked if we use all 11. I definitely think Gladstone's going to wheel and deal to try and get picks in 2027 in a deeper class. But yeah, 42 picks. I don't know what we're going to do necessarily, but it's new territory for the Jaguars. New territory. Not for Gladstone. He's worked with McVay and Snead and all those guys for years, and they operate with that first round pick forever. But I'm going into this draft, I don't want to say blind, but truly with no clue as to what we're going to do. Truly no clue. Now, I've gone into drafts having an idea of what we're going to do, and I was wrong on it. Like last year, I thought we were going to take Mason Graham at 5, and obviously that did not happen. I've gone on drafts thinking a few things, and that never materialized. I've thought that, but I've never gone into a draft clueless. This is the first year I'm going in clueless with what we do, Kev. Like, I couldn't tell you what the Jags are going to do. Like, I know, like, positions and whatnot, but I couldn't tell you our strategy with how we're going to operate with 11 picks, but also no first-round picks. All right, here's the, like, thing. All right, so I have the video. I get the prize picks thing in. You can see what I'm doing. I just realized that. You can see what I'm doing. There we go.
But before I get into
Okay,
what
I know where I
exactly the
screwed
Buccaneers,
up.
Ball was your man. Who's tackle in school history, but by the Tangs in 1986, it ranks second in program history. Of course,
So around the 5-minute
things
mark.
went downhill for SMU.
Yeah, here we go.
And the play of
for good even for even just half as good class last year. Yeah, last year might have been a curse. It's funny. Last year might have been it's so bizarre because last year's class being that good might have been the worst thing to happen to you guys. Because if last year's class was bad, Andrew Berry's gone. Berry's gone. I think you get a better coach than Monkey because I'm not crazy about Monken. But you weren't going to fire Berry after that last class he had. So he had to get people that were going to work with Monken. Or work with Berry, and Monken was one of the few. So it's almost like a curse that the class was that good. But it was a very good class, obviously. No one's denying that. It was a great class. Outside the quarterbacks, Dylan Gabriel never made sense at the time with his noodle arm. Yeah, Gabriel never made sense. But other than that, I like the picks you guys made the first 4 rounds.
And the play 10 team in the nation. And the play of Jerry Ball was a big reason why. And after he followed that 1984 season, to go relatively high in the draft. And one of the teams supposedly interested in Ball,
that was the
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who were coming off of an abysmal.
There's a screw up here. Yep.
It would be, but this is Hugh. But this is Hugh.
Yep. There we go.
But this is.
Here's the.
It would be, but this is Hugh Culverhouse we're talking about. The 1977 yards per carry.
Right, and I didn't screw up any other point in the immediate
aftermath. We know that they wanted to take him with pick number 36. That never happened. Not because they wound up drafting someone else. The Buccaneers told only to them it's waiting a long time for your name to be when you were explicitly told that you'd be gone by this spot.
Almost messed
Especially
up
when
here.
you were in this spot. It's waiting a long time for your name to be called when you thought you'd be gone by this at the NFL draft. Then waiting a long time for your name to be called. It's waiting a long time for your name to be called.
There's a bit of a, not stumble, but there's a bit of a click.
Time for your name to be called when you thought you'd be gone by this spot. Especially when you were explicitly told that you'd be gone by this spot. And you start seeing the money slipping away from you with each passing spot. Because a contract at pick number 36, the contract you're going to get, as Ball said...
Perfect. Yeah, every time I say it, as this person said, that's just the indicator for, let me put the... that's where I'm going to get the newspaper in. All right, Detroit Free Press is this one. Took 23 off work? Nice. How we straight up like taking Pavia. Oh my god. I want... Can you imagine Pavia and Sanders and Watson? Oh my god. I need that. Any team that takes Pavia, just... I don't care how good your GM... Look, Mike McDonald... not Mike McDonald. Schneider. Great GM. Howie. Great GM. Anyone that takes... I don't care how good you are. Anyone that takes Pavia deserves to be on the hot seat. He's undersized. Has a poor attitude. He has small hands. He is nothing you want. Nothing you want in a prospect. He also is mush for brains with certain things. Like, I would not touch Pavia at all. An undersized quarterback with small hands, Kenny Pickett hands, with Doug Flutie height and Johnny Manziel's attitude. It would be a fun train wreck. It'd be like you couldn't look away from it. Combine the hands of Kenny Pickett, the height of Doug Flutie, and the attitude of Johnny Manziel, and you get Diego Pavia. So that's a real winner to me.
They said they were going to take me. They said, stay by the phone. I wasn't.
It's funny because we haven't really had a Heisman quarterback, obviously he didn't win the Heisman, but second in the Heisman voting. Usually at this spot, the gap between college and the NFL, I don't want to say the gap is less, but if you're a Heisman finalist, you're going first round. You're going really high. If you're a Heisman finalist in college because of the way the game has evolved. When's the last time we had a guy that was a Heisman finalist that might not get drafted? Like, that seems insane to think about. So that surprised you to Camille? No, it was not. No, that did not surprise me. I wasn't crazy about Milroe, but I was not surprised because I was like, look, Darnold, he's pretty much on a 1-year contract. Who knows if he's the guy? You want to have a guy waiting in the wings. I get it.
It was just after that, I said, I hope Tampa doesn't get another chance to draft me. I didn't want to play Bear. Tampa got...
I see Simpson at 6. Oh, no.
Tampa got...
I don't know what to make of Simpson. I've watched like every Alabama game this year, and his... With a clean pocket, I like him a lot, but when that pocket's not clean, oof. Now, granted, his receivers did not help him at all this year, but when that pocket is not clean, he can make some really bad decisions. Jets take Pavia, please. Please, God, yes. Geno Smith and Diego Pavia on the same team, please. I want the Titans to do it. Just stay in Nashville. What could possibly go wrong?
He won and picked 57 and told him he was going to get drafted on himself. Eventually, Slater, while happy that he was a Lion, close friends with only him through before the season started. Tampa Bay called me before.
How's it going? How's it going, Mom? Yep, we hit the stretch goal last night, so I'm finishing up the edit, and it should be off in like 20 minutes. It should be off in like 20. Right, I don't think it'd be terrible going to the right team. That team is not the Browns. Yep. Not wrong there. I mean, I think Pavi would be bad anywhere. He's possibly on the road every night. Yep, it would not be a good spot for him. I think Pavi, he doesn't have the frame to play at the next level. Like, just undersized quarterbacks with small hands that make it the exception to the norm. His speed's not the greatest. Like, he ran for a lot of stuff, if any, and that's fine. But it's not like he's got, like, Michael Vick kind of speed. Like Lamar Jackson kind of speed, where... Like, he's not, like, physically... Like, his hands are poor. His 40 was 4... Yeah, UFL. Sorry, yeah, that'd be a great get for the UFL. That'd be a great get. Like, when we talk, like, undersized quarterbacks who make... I mean, this is his RAS score, his relative athletic score. I mean, this is bad. Poor hand size, poor attitude, poor height. Not that fast. Like, this is not a guy I would take in the slightest bit. And that weird third-round pick that he's going to make, yep. Gabriel Schwartz, yeah, he'll do something. No one's going to be. He'll figure something out. Maybe another running back. Maybe, because, I mean, you drafted 2 last year high with Sampson and Judkins. Maybe another one. What's this newspaper? Beaumont Enterprise.
And to be a Buccaneer. They said to stay by the... When they didn't, it upset me.
I can see Pavia making it in the CFL.
Then Detroit picked me. I prefer to play the...
I think Pavia could be a pretty, not decent CFL quarterback, but
Tampa Bay.
I think that suits him a lot better.
About that. He was not wrong about that.
If you take a guy that has a terrible raw athletic score, relative athletic score, take a guy like that with no height, no hands, no real NFL speed and poor attitude. He does not present himself as the smartest guy in the world. I
Bit for that.
can't help you out there.
Now, to be fair to the Buccaneers, despite this incredibly scummy behavior, they ended up drafting. Despite this incredibly scummy behavior.
All right, now this is one of those where you want to move a clip around. Some like Styles or Downs. I love Caleb Downs though. Caleb Downs, I will say, Caleb Downs is the best safety. I've watched a lot of football. He's the best safety I've seen since Eric Berry coming out of college. See what's like Pavi Saturday? Oh, in Pittsburgh? Oh, that'd be incredible. Oh my, that would make my day. That would make my day if they did that. 200,000 Yinzers watching the draft all together, and Pavi is the pick. Oh my, please. With Aaron Rodgers there. Aaron Rodgers comes back, Pavia and Rodgers in the same quarterback room. That would terrify me what the conversations in that room would be like. That's the best scenario, actually. Not saying I'll have Downs and Salad, watch every Ohio State game. Yeah, oh yeah, but we need offense. Yes, you do need offense, yes. Wouldn't want to reach on a guy, but yeah, you do need offense more than you need defense.
Don't blame him one bit for that. Now, to be fair,
Yeah, I get you there, though. I get you there.
Now, to be fair, the Buccaneers.
Is Browns versus Steelers do that? That'd be incredible.
With that pick in the second round, as the man that they drafted.
Especially, not just the Steelers drafting, but the Steelers drafting him in Pittsburgh. In front of 200,000 people. Who all just are begging the Steelers, their hometown team, to not do something stupid. And they wind up doing the dumbest thing imaginable. That would be... The reactions would be priceless. The content I could get out of that, too, would be incredible. The content I could get at the draft would be great on that one.
But Smith and Moss, not so much. Ball was miles better than I. The third-round pick that the Buccaneers had before the Lions and live up to their promise, even if it was a bit delayed, that they would do it. Especially since Moss and Smith, the Bucs had two other picks in the second round before this man right here, Jerry Ball. This man, Jerry Ball was, well, but Jerry Ball was, well, Jerry Ball. This man right here.
Perfect. Alright, so I have the clips I need. Now, I didn't actually need any of those clips, but that's fine. Copy, paste this with Ball. Perfect.
Leave them hanging in 87.
Perfect. Alright, clips are in. Everything should be good.
Do 4 decades later. Because on the day of the year,
There's a bit of a clip there, I want to get rid of that.
Jerry Ball.
That's actually a great final shot to end on, because he ended, like we talked about him with the Bucks. That's actually a phenomenal final shot to end on.
Jerry Ball.
Like him going up against the Bucks.
Jerry Ball.
I didn't even plan it like that. That's a great final shot to end on. That's a full circle moment. Did not even plan for that. That's good. Okay. Now we'll do a copy paste. Get that like and subscribe button out there. Just helps the algorithm. I'm not crazy about it, but it helps the algorithm. And I need the outro. It's this one. I like Tate more than Tyson, but I've watched more Tates. That's probably, yeah. Makes sense, yeah. Tyson's really good. I will say, Tyson, he's got a phenomenal frame. He made so many clutch catches. It's a true threat in the red area. It's a true threat down there. All right. And we'll put it at 95% speed. Do that. Members are in. That's in. And that's everything. Perfect. All right, so we'll title this Cherry Ball Draft 87 and export that bad boy. All right, so would I take Hodges or Pavia? Who would I rather take? I mean, Hodges won't be a locker room cancer the same way I think Pavia could be. I mean, you're screwed either way. All right, so just right now the vid's exporting. At this point, everything is up to YouTube with this. So I'm gonna work on the thumbnail and work on all that stuff, and yeah, the vid's done. So it should be out in. Oh, yeah, Fannin was really good. Oh man, Fannin looked good. I did not see that coming. That surprised me. That surprised me how good Fannin was as a rookie. That tight end class, I mean, Fannin, Warren, Loveland, I mean, that was a very good tight end class right off the bat. Tight end's a tough position to adjust to right away. And we had three that just became near the top of their position right off the bat. That's unheard of. That is absolutely unheard of. You know, outside the quarterbacks, Barry nailed it this last draft. Quarterbacks obviously did not nail, but every other position, he nailed. Like, that was a great class for Barry. If they can do that again, they're nail the quarterback after they can get out of the Watson situation, they're not going to be in a bad spot. Potentially. They're getting the right talent in place. Yeah, you want him so happy when we picked him. I always love when my team takes a player that I really wanted. So I always have like my draft crushes, and if they take one of them, man, it's so good. Oh, it's so much fun when they do that. So much fun when they're able to do that. All right, so at this point, the edit's done. Colts be a Pavia team? That'd be really dumb. But when I think of Pavia, I think the Colts, you have Richardson. You got to find a way to offload him. You also... The problem is that you got Riley Leonard on there. Yeah, Riley Leonard. You've got... Half hour was draft crush. Yep, it worked out well. You got Riley Leonard. You have Daniel Jones. You have Richardson. I just don't see where... Tyler Williams was the other? Nice. I don't see where he fits in. I don't see where Pavia would fit in. The Colts have so many holes. Drafting a third-string quarterback at best, when you have a youngster already backing you up in Riley Leonard, just doesn't seem to make sense. I love it. Look, as a Jaguar fan, I would love it. I would laugh so hard if it happened, but the Colts, with how limited capital they have in cap space and draft picks, premium draft picks after the Gardner trade, I would not be wasting capital on a third-string quarterback. An undersized, poor attitude third-string quarterback at that. Would not be doing that. Probably the next Brock Purdy. Man, that would be... That would shock a lot of people. Purdy was truly a once-in-a-lifetime thing. There are very few Mr. Irrelevance that make it. If they do, it's usually on special teams. Purdy saved the Niners franchise. Purdy completely saved the Niners franchise. Because they were going to get screwed with the Lance thing. If you just pretended that Trey Lance was the 7th, was Mr. Relevant, and Brock Purdy was the guy that they drafted in the trading up with the Dolphins, it actually works out all right. If I were the Browns, who am I taking at 6? I'm going wide out. I'm going Tyson. If you trust the medicals, probably should show up. Oh, I would love that. I would love that. If you trust the medicals on Tyson, and I do, but obviously I'm not a doctor, but I trust the medicals. If you trust the medicals on Tyson, he'd be the pick. But I would go receiver. I would definitely go receiver. If not, Tate's a great pick. If not, Cardinal Tate, you can't go wrong with CT. You can't go wrong with CT. But I would say receiver. Unless the board plays out in a completely bizarre way where no one's available. If you have your choice of Tyson or Tate, you take one of them. And you get your wide receiver one. That's what I would do. All right. On that note, the edit's done. Draft Crush this year. I haven't really I got to take a closer look. I'll let you know by the weekend. I'll let you know. I got to take a closer look at some of the film. So I'm working on it right now. Personally, I don't want to fall in love with any prospects because we're not going to be picking that high. So I don't even know who's going to be on the board at our pick. I'll know obviously, but I don't know how the board's going to play out. Usually we get to pick up pretty much anyone. We don't get that this year. I like Pons when he came out of Indiana. I gotta watch him. I want to watch more of him one-on-one, but I gotta watch more of just focusing on him. But I like Pons. I like the way he played. All right, so here's the game plan. We got 2 streams tomorrow, or I guess later today. D-backs Orioles at 6:35 Eastern time, and then 9:40 Mariners against Padres. So that's the plan. 2 streams tomorrow. Mariners, Padres, D-backs Orioles. New video dropping, I'd say 7 o'clock Eastern time. It's uploading right now into YouTube, and we will go from there. You guys are awesome. Again, thank you for helping me reach this goal of doing a live edit. We hit $300, so we're doing a live edit, and I appreciate you guys' time for helping me on that. So, yeah. Take care, guys. New video dropping, the one that you just saw me work on. The video dropping about 30 minutes time. I'll see you guys Tuesday for what should be a fun day of streaming, fun day of baseball. Take care. See you soon.